Jeepers Creepers 2, 2003, movie breakdown, ending explained. Jeepers Creepers 2, released in 2003 and directed by Victor Salva, continues the terrifying mythology of the Creeper, a monstrous creature that awakens every 23 years for 23 days to feast on human body parts, which then become part of its own body. As a direct sequel to the 2001 original, this installment ramps up the action and terror by placing a group of high school students at the center of the Creeper's latest hunting spree. Set during the final days of the Creeper's feeding cycle, the film delivers a more action-oriented horror experience while still exploring the disturbing lore of the creature. The Taggets and the First Kill. The story kicks off on day 22 of the Creeper cycle. In a chilling opening sequence, a farmer named Jack Taggart Sr. and his son, Jack Jr., are working in a cornfield when the Creeper swoops down and abducts Jack's youngest son, Billy. The horrifying moment sets up the motivation for the Taggets, especially Jack Sr., who becomes obsessed with revenge. Armed with a home-built harpoon launcher mounted on his truck, he vows to kill the monster responsible for his son's death. Stranded on the highway. Meanwhile, the narrative shifts to a group of high school students returning home from a championship basketball game. They are traveling on a school bus through the desolate countryside of rural Florida. The team, along with their cheerleaders and coaches, seem carefree and distracted, until the bus suddenly suffers a flat tire. The real horror begins when another tire blows out, caused by a strange throwing weapon made of bone and shuriken-like metal, crafted by the Creeper himself. When the bus is disabled a second time, the group becomes stranded, and their situation quickly deteriorates. Tension builds when the Creeper begins circling the bus from the skies, taunting and isolating his prey. One by one, the adults on the bus are taken out. First, Coach Barnes is snatched. Then the driver, Betty, and assistant coach are also abducted. With no adults left to protect them, the students must find a way to survive. What makes the situation even more terrifying is that the Creeper isn't randomly selecting victims. He can smell which humans have body parts he wants to consume. The Creeper chooses his victims. The students watch in horror as the creature methodically stalks them, pressing his face against the bus windows and licking the glass, indicating his chosen victims. Among the teens, tension grows as they struggle to maintain order. Some want to stay on the bus. Others believe they need to run. The group's dynamic shifts, and a clear divide appears between those who try to protect each other and those who are only looking out for themselves. One of the key characters, Minxie, experiences psychic visions. In these eerie, dreamlike moments, she communicates with Derry Jenner, the male victim from the first film, and sees terrifying glimpses of the Creeper's past. Derry's ghost warns Minxie about the creature and its feeding cycle, giving the group a better understanding of what they're up against. The Psychic Connection. The Psychic Connection introduces an important thematic shift in the movie. This isn't just a monster movie anymore. It touches on spiritual horror, legacy, and prophecy. Minxie becomes the group's link to knowledge about the Creeper, and her insights are crucial in preparing them to fight back. The Creeper, meanwhile, becomes more and more aggressive as his feeding window closes. By showing that the Creeper has a long history of terror and that some people are beginning to understand his nature, the film deepens the lore introduced in the first movie. It also adds urgency. These teens aren't just being hunted, they're part of a repeating nightmare that has claimed many before them.
All you kids, get down!
The Taggets return with vengeance. In the third act, the Taggets arrive at the scene after tracking the Creeper's flight pattern using radio signals and sightings. Jack Sr., with his makeshift harpoon gun, becomes the unlikely hero. A climactic battle ensues near the bus. While the teens scramble for safety, Jack Sr. and Jack Jr. engage the Creeper head-on. The harpoon gun proves somewhat effective, and the fight leads to a dramatic showdown. Though injured and grounded, the Creeper shows no signs of slowing down, making it clear that he's not just some mindless animal. He's intelligent, strategic, and nearly unstoppable. Eventually, the Taggets manage to impale the Creeper with the harpoon and restrain it to a wall using steel cables. As the creature's 23-day feeding cycle ends, it becomes dormant, going into a state of hibernation. The creeper sleeps.
For now.
The film closes with a flash-forward set 23 years later. Jack Sr. is now much older, operating a roadside attraction called the Creeper's Last Stand. He keeps the creeper's dormant body mounted in a barn with the harpoon still embedded in it. Local kids come to see the creature, now a legend. Jack, aged but still vigilant, sits in a chair with his harpoon gun ready, waiting for the day the creature wakes up again. When asked if he's waiting for something, he responds, "About 3 more days. Give or take a day or 2. It's a chilling reminder that the cycle is about to begin again. Ending explained. The ending of Jeepers Creepers 2 reinforces the mythos that the creeper is a supernatural entity with a strict feeding schedule, one that is both predictable and unstoppable. The final scene, with Jack Sr. watching over the hibernating creature, highlights the theme of obsession and unresolved grief. His refusal to move on from his son's death reflects a tragic cost of vengeance. While he may have won the battle by stopping the creeper temporarily, he's now trapped in a cycle of waiting, just like the creature itself. The movie also expands on the idea that the creeper may not be just a beast, but part of something larger and more ancient. Through Minxie's visions and Derry's warnings, it becomes evident that the creeper has terrorized people for centuries. Its behavior is ritualistic, and its ability to target specific victims for their body parts adds a layer of disturbing intelligence to its monstrosity. Where the first Jeepers Creepers was more of a slow-burn horror mystery, the sequel focuses on survival horror and group dynamics under extreme stress. It mixes teen slasher tropes with creature feature horror and introduces the idea that fighting back, while possible, may come at a great cost. The final takeaway. Jeepers Creepers 2 builds upon the terror established in the first film, expanding the mythology and raising the stakes. It replaces the isolated dread of the original with a siege-style horror, where a group must hold out against a relentless predator. With a mix of suspense, action, and tragic loss, the sequel successfully turns the creeper into one of the most memorable monsters in early 2000s horror cinema. The film ends not with resolution, but with an ominous countdown, reminding audiences that evil always comes back. And the next time, it could be even worse.